Hi, today I'm going to show you how to do a manual diesel particulate filter regeneration on a 2011 GMC Sierra 6.6 liter Duramax. First thing that you need to do is park the vehicle on a surface that does not have anything combustible around it. Pavement works fine, concrete, away from anything that can catch fire from the exhaust, grass, trees, anything like that. First thing that you need to do also before you start this procedure is to make sure that the vehicle is well maintained. Do not try to do this if your oil level is low or your coolant level is low. Also, you need to have diesel in a tank. This particular model requires a minimum of 25% fuel level. I have a full tank of diesel in here. Also, it needs to be warmed up properly. Can't do this on a cold engine. It needs to be hot. I've driven this around on a freeway already, so I got it warmed up. Also, open your hood. It's going to be very hot and it's going to need a lot of airflow for the engine. The scanner I'm using is a Solus Edge by Snap-on. Just to show you really quick, it has, I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but the soot level or mass is 30 grams right now. I'm just going to do this for illustration purposes to show you how to activate this. Now, depending on the scanner you use, it may vary and the data may look a little different, but it's virtually same thing. Just it may be worded a little different or organized a little bit different as options. But so we have 30 grams of soot in the diesel particulate filter. The other thing is you want to make sure is that your DEF fluid is topped off. DEF is GM calls it reductant fluid in this case, so reductant system data, and let's see what the level on that is. Okay, so the reductant level is 100%, so the diesel exhaust fluid level is it's got a full tank of that. So let's go ahead and go to the functional tests. Diesel particulate regeneration on off. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. It's going to give you some warnings. Make sure you read all those. I've done these trucks many times, so I read this many times. Also set your parking brake. Do not leave the vehicle unattended. This could take up to 20 minutes. The other thing I want to tell you is that make sure that you lower at least one of the windows down in the cab. Sometimes these models tend to lock themselves, so make sure you have a window down. Otherwise you might have a truck that's regenerating with that's running, and you can't get into it because it locked you out. So if you're not going to sit inside the cab the entire time, make sure that you let at least one of the windows down. I'm going to go ahead and continue this. Okay, so it's going to bring you to this screen, and this is kind of something interesting. It's going to show you the desired idle and actual engine speed. Keep in mind this will go up to 2500 RPM. And so it's going to remain there approximately 20 minutes. Now it depends on the how heavily loaded up is the diesel particulate filter. This particular truck has a little bit less than 100,000 miles, and so the diesel particulate filter is still fairly new. Just the other day I did one with closer to 200,000 or a little over 200,000, and it was more end of life for that filter. it was a little bit harder to regen, because you can only get them so clean each time they go through this cycle, and then they can only get rid of so much soot and ash, and as they age, they're not as efficient at getting rid of all that soot that gets in there. So let's go ahead and click on here and turn this on. And sometimes you have to do it several times, but this time it turned on because everything was properly done. And so you'll see here the RPMs are starting to go up on their own. And I'm not touching the gas pedal or anything. The computer's doing everything. So we're gonna go up to, the computer's gonna bring it up to 2000 RPM, hold it there, and eventually once the DPF has been reached the proper operating temperature, is going to raise it up to 2500 RPM, and it's going to be very loud outside. That fan clutch is going to kick in, and it's going to be, you're going to be able to hear this thing from a couple of blocks away. But let's go ahead and step outside really quick and see what it looks like. Make sure you do remember to lower the window. Okay, so right now we're at 2500 or 2000 RPM. So now it's reaching the 2500 RPM mark, and it's going to remain here for some time depending on how clogged the DPF is. I'm going to step outside just to show you how loud it is outside from that fan clutch right now. So also right now the exhaust gas pressure is the highest. It's going to be very hot, so be careful when you walk behind the truck, around the truck, because that temperature coming out of there is very, very high. So let's go ahead and step outside and do a quick walk around, and see what it does. And then once this cycle is complete, the truck will simply return to idle speed, engine idle speed, and so then you're pretty much done doing the regeneration. I want to let it cool down for a couple of minutes if you decide to shut it off. Personally, I like to take it for a drive to make sure that everything's been completed properly. And the other thing is, once this is done, I like to go into the scanner and look at the soot mass in the DPF to see how much soot has been burned off from the DPF. So let's go ahead and step outside really quick. Okay, this truck just finished doing the regeneration cycle. The idle has returned to normal, and let's go ahead and go into the scanner and look at our data and see how much soot has been removed. Let's back out of here. So let's go exhaust after treatment data. and find our diesel particulate filter soot mass. So after the regeneration, we are down to 4 grams. 4 grams of soot left in the DPF. Now you can try to run this again and try to get rid of that 4 grams. Usually if it's beneath 10 grams, you're okay. The truck is gonna drive just fine. On this particular model, 44 grams is the maximum that it will allow you to have in there before it derates or makes the computer turn on the regeneration. So from 30 down to 4, so 26 grams of soot have been removed from the diesel particulate filter.